Welcome to Compleat Kidz Online, friendly discussions about autism and other developmental disabilities. Learn how working together is working better, one conversation at a time.
Hello, welcome to Compleat Kidz Online. I'm Gina.
I'm Bob.
And we're joined with Nicole.
Hey, I'm
Hello, Nicole. Hello.
Nicole's had a little bit of a journey with Compleat Kidz. So tell us a little bit about how you started.
So, before working with Compleat Kidz, I was actually working in manufacturing. So I went from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum. When I started, go ahead.
Pun intended. Yeah. Spectrum.
When I started as an FDPA, which is the front desk person in Hickory. I learned how to do all of the front desk stuff, submitted to insurance, all of that fun, fancy stuff. Was the face that everybody gets to see whenever they walk in the door. And I found that I really enjoy doing referrals and just connecting with the parents firsthand because I am a parent myself. So my goal now as a referral coordinator is to talk to parents and just make them feel comfortable that they're making a good choice. But
yeah, we've spoken to a lot of parents. You know, it's kind of a scary new world for them, getting a new diagnosis and coming in to a brand new clinic and everything. It can be scary.
Yeah, even like whenever the parents, their pediatricians talk to them about their child, they go in just for a routine thing and, hey, I've noticed this about Sally and I've noticed this, do you have any ideas of what it could be? And the doctor tells them, well, they are showing signs of this. Some of the things they're doing kind of lean towards autism. Why don't you get that? And of course, any diagnosis, for the most part, it can be a scary experience. But whenever I talk to the parents and everything, I try to put them at ease as much as I can, that it's not a bad thing. And at least they're getting answers so that they can help their child and help themselves as well.
So take us through, like, a parent, a brand new parent is onboarding onto Compleat Kidz. Just what does that process look like?
So initially, I would need a referral from the pediatrician, and it would have to be signed by the doctor and everything, ordering a evaluation request, like there is suspect of autism, please evaluate. And then I would call the parent. First, they'll get a text, and then I'd call the parent, and I would just kind of talk them through the process of how we do things. I let them know first off that, I asked them, has your child been diagnosed with autism, or are you looking for, the possibility of there being a diagnosis? And then, if they have been diagnosed, then it makes the spiel that I give a little bit more easy, because then they kind of already know what I'm talking about. Where if they haven't been diagnosed, then I go into a little bit more detail and try to be as thorough as possible without being boring.
Gotcha.
So I would initially tell them the first thing that we need is a psychological evaluation. And, that's just where they get the diagnosis from. They'll get to hang out with Dr. Wells or Alex and, kind of get to talk to them a little bit about everything and go through with the evaluation. And at the end of it, they'll find out if their child is autistic or if they're not. And also if they are, what level they are. And then the next step, if they are autistic, is to go in for what's called an ABA evaluation. And that is just where you have a one-on-one meeting. Let's talk about your child with the BCBA. it's where you talk about where they are, where you want them to go, and come up with a plan on how to get them there, as with some goals and stuff like that. And it's also where they'll get the prescription of hours for their child, so that they know how many hours the child needs of therapy for it to be effective and efficient for them. So essentially, we don't schedule any less than 15 hours, but it could be up to 25 plus, depending on the needs of the child. Also, when you come in for the psych eval, or even the ABA evaluation, if you get to skip the psych eval, you might get one of these passport books. And all that is just a booklet that tells you the different steps of kind of your journey here. It gives you the rules of our program. It also tells you, if I can get to the right page, that you get to have a clinic tour, which is where you kind of get to see like the insides of the clinic and kind of where your child will be every day. And then, of course, to make it fun for the kiddos and everything like that, we do have these fancy stamps. It's our symbol, which you can't really see on there, but it's our symbol, and I'll just put it on here so that you can see it. So that the kids can have it as kind of like a memorandum, as, okay, we went through this part, and then can look at it and just be excited over it. And it also lets you know that we can do parent training and all of that stuff as well. So,
and that stamp just lets you know that task was completed, and
yes,
and that's a way to kind of tell how far along
in the journey you are. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So after you have your ABA evaluation and all of that stuff, and you actually get your prescription of hours and everything, I do my thing on my end by submitting all of that wonderful information to your insurance or your Medicaid. And then once I get the approval, then we'll come up with a therapy start date for you, or for your child. And then, of course, you'll have a talk with probably the lead RBT, and maybe even a BCBA or the practice manager, and they'll let you know kind of how they do things in their clinic. I know in Hickory at one point in time, it was you can bring enough food for like the week, and we could store it in a locker. But now Hickory is ever growing, and there's so many kiddos that are waiting to come aboard, and we're going to get a bigger space and everything, that now we just kind of change the rules to just bring a snack every day, bring a cup of whatever drink they like every day, and all of that. So
yeah, when you were in Hickory, I'm sure you saw the kids coming in every day. Do you have any like stories of any kids that you saw like making progress over time?
Oh, yes. So there was a kiddo that when she came in, she wouldn't like acknowledge me at all, and I would always say, "Hey," and their name. Well, don't your outfit look cute today? And like make some kind of like quirky remark, but always make them feel comfortable, because that's how I would want to feel walking into, an office essentially. And then I started in December of last year. And then I think maybe by March, she started like actually engaging with me. And she was nonverbal, but like if I walked out there because I had to clean the chairs or something, she would walk over and actually give me a hug. Or if I walked out onto the floor, I used to make a joke because I would stand in the doorway and just kind of watch. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a creeper over here just watching you guys, so that, I could learn the kids and kind of see the things that they like, kind of see, how the clinic runs. Because for me, I had never worked with autistic kids before. I've done childcare before, and then, the past 8 years has been manufacturing for me. So just to see how different it is, but also how rewarding it is, has been wonderful for me as a person, especially since I thought my son was autistic at one point in time. Just because, I could see some behaviors of some of the autistic children, and also see some similar ones in my son as well. So it made me feel a little bit comfortable. Plus, some of the some of the tasks that they do with the kids, like first we do this and then we do this, that helped me as a parent as well, not having autistic children. So, and just seeing the interaction between all of the therapists together, if, one child was, in a behavior, how quickly everybody was to help each other. And, seeing some of the kiddos, you're not supposed to have favorites, but one of my favorite times is whenever one of the kiddos would come in and ask me for a coloring page to print off. There was actually two. One would always ask for a Sonic coloring page, and then they would go through all the different Sonic characters, which I could relate because my son was obsessed with Sonic. So that's something that I could engage with them with. And then the other child that would come in would ask for pictures of different dinosaurs. So he would say, Miss Cole, can you print out a picture of the Mosasaurus for me? And I say, sure, I can. So we'd find one and he'd pick one, and then he'd go into extensive detail about the Mosasaurus and just give me all of that knowledge about it. And for me, it was fascinating because, here he is, just this child that has a whole brain full of knowledge while, I'm in my 30s and I'm like, how do you say that word again?
You're learning from each other.
Yeah.
So what do you, when you did when you were at the front desk, obviously you get to see that, and it's a rewarding part of the job. So now doing what you're doing now, what does it for you? What's your reward?
Having parents express how appreciative they are. Even if it's not just come out, I'm so thankful for you. Sometimes I can hear in their voice that, they are thankful for the information. I try to make myself available to answer any questions that they may have. And I always tell them whenever, before we hang up, hey, if, 3 days from now you have any questions, give me a call back. And if I don't have answers, then I will find somebody that can give you answers, because I would like them to feel as comfortable as they can with our company and with kind of how we do things. And also, going into something that could be so much brand new for them. It's one of those things that, as a parent myself, I wouldn't want to just walk in and somebody say, okay, here for a psych eval. Cool. All right. They're here. And then that's it. I would like the engagement and the knowledge, and not being blindsided, so to speak, having that comfort, okay, I know this is what's going to happen, and there's no surprises.
I always feel like it's like alphabet soup. Whenever a kid starts, you got ABA, BCBA, PT, OT.
Yeah. And whenever I say those words, like those acronyms and stuff, I always let them know, BCBA, that's a board certified behavioral analyst. And they're kind of like the gurus of autism. They go to school specifically for it. And, they learn how to be able to help the children, and also help the BTs and RBTs help the children as well. So I try to be pretty thorough without being boring.
Right.
I don't think you could be boring, Nicole.
No, yeah, that's for sure. So we always ask this question when we wrap, as we have the theme going through our company is the superheroes. And, part of the bio is, what's your favorite, or what would be your superpower if you could pick any superpower? So we're going to ask you, if you could pick any superpower out there, what superpower would you select?
I would pick invisibility, just because, I like to have fun and kind of giggle around and everything like that. So just playing tiny little pranks and stuff like that would make me make my day. Or even, saving somebody from something and not even knowing what happened, just to give them something to believe in.
I like that.
That's actually pretty awesome. We've heard people give invisibility, but not that way.
Pranks and helping people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
She's both the devil and the angel on the shoulders.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us, Nicole.
We really
Thank you
appreciate it.
for
So if a
having
parent
me.
is interested, what's the first step they should do? Reaching out to you guys and like what to start this
Well,
journey.
they're more than welcome to look up the number to our closest clinic to call us. But the first step, and in order for me to be able to contact you, is just have your pediatrician or primary care physician, the doctor, send us a referral. The number that for the fax is it's 888. I haven't memorized that.
That's
So,
okay.
but it is on our website. There is a number on there that they'll be able to get it. And plus, most of at least in the Hickory, Gastonia, Lincolnton area, most of the pediatricians have our fax number to be able to fax it to us. So,
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, thanks so much. Appreciate you.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
To continue the conversation, visit the links to our website, Facebook page, or Instagram in the comments.